Hey guys, this is Mark with NCEngravers, and today we're going to be working on a staccato. Now, if you've been following us over the last year to year and a half, specifically on our Instagram and our Facebook, you'll have noticed we've started working on a lot more 1911s than we've done in the past. Now, one of the things you're going to notice about YouTube is we really haven't been putting out a lot of YouTube videos of it because it is quicker to do a picture or a very short video on Instagram or Facebook demonstrating the work. This time we decided, why don't we explain it a little bit better, encourage people a little bit more to get a better feeling of what it is they can get done on their slide. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to be the guy that is honest with you and just comes right straight forward. And the idea is that I don't know a lot about the staccatos. Okay, I do know that some have a plate that comes off and they keep the rear. Some the rear sight. Some have a plate that is completely removable and you lose the rear sight. I know some don't have a rear iron sight at all. So I know there's a lot of different versions. There's a lot that look like this. There's some that are longer in the nose. Once again, you know, I don't really live in the staccato world, so I don't know whether it's a C or this model or that model. We would encourage you to send us a picture. I want to look at it. I'm more of a visual kind of guy. I can look at it and go, yes, it can be doable, or no, I've never done one. Or there's more work. It can be done, but maybe there's more serrations on the front, or the slide's a little longer. So it's one of those deals where just because you have a different model than what you see here doesn't necessarily mean it can't be done. It just means I may not have worked on one yet. So with that being said, let's kind of jump into the work. Let's explain it. Now, once again, we've done a couple of these, and we will show some other pictures. So you're going to be able to see the work done on this one, and then at the end, we're going to include a couple pictures of another one we worked on that's going to explain it a little bit more. So on this exact gun, what we're going to be doing is, on the top, we're going to end up doing a knurling pattern from the front to the rear. And of course, the rear stops here because this is a lower shelf where the optic goes. So this is all going to get knurled, the diamond knurled on this flat zone here. That is basically a anti-glare, anti-reflective surface. You're outside shooting. What you don't get is I'm looking downrange and I'm getting glare off the side of my slide, off the front in my face, right? So the idea is that this ends up putting this at all different angles, and overall what it does is it breaks up any glare that's going to come back at you. So we obviously see this a lot in the Wilson Combats, and there's different versions of this. This isn't always a knurl pattern. Sometimes it's a line pattern. Sometimes we see a texture pattern and some Nighthawks and things like that. But what it is it's not a smooth surface like you see right here, okay? So it's a change, it's a breakup to that metal to keep the reflectiveness from, you know, traveling down it. So guys, that's one of the things we're going to be doing on the top, okay? And then we're also going to be doing some laser cut front side windows to be able to show the barrel. So what that means is over in here, you're going to kind of see, and I'm going to explain this the best I can, but what we have is a straight cut on the top, comes down at an angle, and then it has a curve on the bottom, right? So we're all seeing that straight across the top, comes down here, and then it cups, right? Those are kind of what those pockets look like. And we're going to be creating the exact same design in those pockets, just a smaller version. So it's going to be a straight line at the top, it's going to slant down the sides, and it's going to be cupped down the bottom in each one of these. And that's going to be a window hole created with the laser punched all the way through in order to see the barrel. Now, if you're curious, can it be done? Sure. We've got a fixed side of a slide, but that is the right tool for the job. Make no mistake, it can probably be done on a CNC machine, but it's not going to look as clean as if it's done on a laser with somebody that knows how to run the machine. So that's exactly why we're doing the work. This is why we're tasked with the work, because of that process. Windows, knurling, windows. Then we're going to go into coloring. So we're going to go into a solid color on this one. Guys, let's jump into what we're going to do is we're going to start with the top work, right? The knurling, so everything gets taken down. So this has to come off. We've got some guts in here, some firing pins, some extractor and stuff. That's all going to come out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get on the CNC machine. We're going to cut this down, right? So we're going to knurl the top. Then we're going to get over to the laser. We're going to punch our 3 holes, and we're going to move on to coloring. I do want to explain some of the surfaces that you see on the other slide, because there's another one very similar to this. So I want to explain that sometimes people just get some surfaces and not all those surfaces. Give you a better understanding of what it is that is available. Let's jump into work. Let's bring it back. See exactly how it comes out. All right, guys, it looks like we are back together. We've got some sniper gray coloring on the slide. I want to talk to you guys about each piece to this puzzle. I know you just watched it, but we've got knurling on the top. This was done on the flat ridge on the very top. We've got laser cut windows in those front serrations on the side. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I want to give you my opinion of a couple of things. Of course, we've got another one of these slides that we had already completed, and I want to show you some pictures. I want to discuss that a little bit. I also believe that this slide probably has some more work that could be done. I see a more complete project, okay? What I mean by that is, so we've got these front windows here that take place in between the serrations. We've got these serrations on the rear of the gun, okay? So obviously we don't want to cut windows here, but I could see this same pattern being done back here, but just the deep laser texture, okay? So basically where you guys would see this pattern, this would be done between these in the rear, these four, and it would just be a deep textured fill. So that would give you a little bit more traction on your hands. It would match the rear to the front of the design. I think it's just a little bit more complete. We do have some other options as far as the top goes. We do offer a basket weave knurling and not just a standard knurling as we see here. So there are a couple things that can be adjusted. There are a few things that can be changed in order to fit your needs. Of course, there's upgrades in barrel coatings and upgrades in slide coatings, anything from halo to battle worn to, you know, any kind of thing you're thinking of. We'll do our best to do it, and we'll do our best to show you it before we process it, but there are some additional services that are offered. Now, I want to talk about the other slide, okay, a little bit. So on the other slide, we're going to include some pictures in here. We end up doing the front windows as you see, and we also ended up doing a halo coating. We didn't do a top ridge knurling. This slide already had a chuck port and the front sight relocated to move it back a little bit closer to the rear of the slide. So it was relocated in the front for that chuck port. Now, we didn't do any of that work. That work was done through another vendor. It is something that we probably could do. We're not set up for that right now, but I do think that we may build a full package and allow our customers to choose if they want the chuck port, if they want the relocated sight, knurling, side windows, texture in the rear. So obviously there's some changes. That slide had some texture on the ejection side where there was some writing. You know, every project is a little different. Not everybody sees the exact same project in mind. They want to change things. It's a little bit more specific to them. They want to adjust things, whether that's logos or text or different style of knurling or no knurling at all. So these are all things that you can build on your pistol that are a little bit more specific to you. So guys, one of the other things I want to say that I want to move into on this, and that is you really need to be careful who you have do your laser work. CNC work is a different animal than laser. When you take a slide, great example is this top knurling, we put it into the CNC machine, I can measure from left to right, front to back. I can find center. I can index off of just one area of the slide or a different area of the slide. I can choose depth. How deep do I want to go per pass? You know, these are all things that I can use the machine's tools in order to achieve the results we're after. When it comes to laser work, that really doesn't exist, okay? When you're talking about cutting windows inside of serrations, keeping the distance between the existing serrations, you want to make sure the distance is the same on the top where the flat is, you want to make sure it's the same on the bottom where the curve is on both sides. These are things that must be done by eye, okay? So it's not as easy as just moving it over, taking a measurement, hoping things look out right. In some cases, the machine can assist you in making good choices, but in other cases, it's really just up to the operator. And the best thing I can say to you is, it could be the difference between getting quality work in the end or needing somebody to fix something in the end because it was incorrectly done. And it's just so easy to make a mistake when we're talking about lasers. And then, of course, we go into, is the person qualified for actually cutting a hole through the slide with a laser, or are we just doing an engraving, right? So there's different layers of, you know, usability as far as the machine goes, as professionalness as the operator goes. There's different layers, you know, how everybody wants and how everybody sees things. So my encouragement to you is do your homework, find a company that you support, find somebody that you trust, ask those questions that you want to have done. It doesn't necessarily have to be us. If you've got somebody local to you in your state that's right up the road, it may be worth going in there, asking them what you want to have done. Show them some pictures. Hey, I saw this guy did this, or I saw somebody did that. You know, not everything in our videos that we discuss is a representation of just using us, okay? There's a lot of other really good companies that are out there on the market that can do the work we do. The difference is you need to know as the consumer, are you choosing the right company or not? Because not everybody that does laser work and does Cerakote is actually qualified to do what they're doing, okay? Just because you've done something for a long time doesn't mean you're good at it, right? So when we've said that a couple times in other videos. I know people that have been mechanics their whole life, but some things they just can't fix, or they don't know how, or their definition of fixing isn't necessarily replacing a part that probably should have been replaced because we're going to be doing this again, right? So these are all different layers of a person and as a business and how they operate and how they move forward with a project and communication. So these are all things that you need to pay attention to because they may come up and in the end, they may end up costing you a staccato. So hopefully that's not the case. Guys, if you want to have this work done, if you happen to have a different model than what you see here, I would encourage you to send us some pictures. We'll review the work. We'll let you know if it can be done. The laser cut front windows has been added to the webpage. You are able to process that along with Cerakote, along with a knurling pattern on the slide. Of course, additional work, as we had discussed, can be added to a project. We can always invoice you once something arrives. So you've got options of adjusting. Maybe you don't have an optic cut and maybe you need one. Maybe you need to have barrel work done and you don't see it listed. Maybe there's some logos that you want to have done. You don't know how to add that to the cart. These are all things that we can help you process. And right now is the best time to do it because we're in the middle of summer and this is the slowest. So it's an opportunity to get your stuff in and get your stuff back out. But at the end of the day, quality is key to us. It is the highest level of what we're after, okay? And that's just kind of how we focus on things. Once it arrives, we act as though your project is ours. We treat it like it's our own, and everything is processed to the highest quality that it can humanly be turned out, and that's what you're going to get back. And I think that shows on our Facebook reviews, and obviously it shows on our Google reviews. So guys, if you happen to have any questions about anything, feel free to let us know. Instagram and Facebook, subscribe, follow along, leave us a YouTube comment, share the YouTube video. We don't see a lot of 1911 and then narrowing that down into that platform, into the staccato world. We don't really see a lot of things specific to one specific model gun. So it's nice to be able to see something that maybe fits your needs and has steered a little bit around the market and isn't just a general pattern, but it is specific to you. So guys, once again, if you need anything, let us know.